Hello, everybody, and thank you for taking the time to join us today to the Les Encres Thread podcast. And I am joined today with Keeley Walker, who is the owner of the Lux Clinic in Perdido, Florida. Welcome, Keeley.
Welcome. Hello. Thanks for having me.
And I am super, super excited that you have joined us because you are not only a very successful and experienced thread user, but you are opening your own med spa in Northern Florida, which is a huge undertaking. So I'm sure everybody's going to be excited to hear about that. You want to tell us a little bit?
Yes, I am super excited. I knew after injecting probably for 3 years, I've been an injector for 5 years. I knew at the 3 year mark, I was like, eventually I'm going to open up my own place. And so here I am 5 years later, and I'm finally doing it, and I'm super excited.
And not to put you on the spot here, but what was kind of the precipice or the final factor in making you make that change from injector to owner? Why'd you pull the trigger?
For me, it was being able to choose what products I have on the shelf, and having that flexibility, making sure I have everything I need in the clinic. Sometimes when you do work for other places, they have a preference themselves. The owner maybe wants a different thread company, maybe wants a different filler brand, and so you're limited to certain things. So that's really what helped me pull the trigger.
Awesome. The ultimate freedom of entrepreneurship. As you
Yes.
are tied to your car on this midday afternoon. That's a true entrepreneur right there.
Yes.
Well, congratulations. We are very excited to watch you grow. Tell us some of your approaches to integrating threads into your daily practice.
So my practice, I do see that we're doing a lot more filler. And so, with a lot of practices, I think it's popular now. And I think we're trying to get away from doing too much filler. And let's, instead of adding more syringes of filler, let's go ahead and stimulate collagen and help with that skin, that top layer. And so it was an easy choice for me, an easy grab. I don't know if I was one of the first ones as far as when the company was established and when threads started to become a trend, but I do think I jumped on that bandwagon right away because I love the results that I've seen so far with the threads and collagen stimulation.
It does make quite a difference versus filler. And there's certainly a place for both of them, and combination therapies as well, but threads address all layers. It's nice.
Yes.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite thread treatments and why? Just the
My
top.
favorite. Yeah, my favorite, I did realize I have looked at other thread companies that the multi-thread is by far one of my favorites, just because I haven't seen anyone bruise with those. There's like less risk of bruising with the multi-thread, it being a cannula versus a needle. And I love that you get multiple threads in one, with one entry point. So I just absolutely love that. My patients love it too. It's super easy appointment, takes 15 minutes to do and they're in and out. So with little to no downtime, they really don't look like they've had anything done, and then they just have to wait for the results. So that's by far my favorite.
It's a quick way to turn a room and make some profit with a very high on return investment for that multi-thread. It's a great
Yes.
product. Where do you like to use it the most? What
I
parts of the face?
My favorite's the nasolabial fold because it's an area that we used to inject. It's actually the injector trainings for beginner courses will always teach to do filler in the nasolabial fold. But experienced injectors, we know not to do that. We don't want anyone looking like a Who from Whoville. I actually post pictures about that. I'm like, we don't want to put too much filler there because we don't ever lose fat in that area. So what we really need is collagen stimulation to improve that and make it look more natural.
Mhm. We are all after that natural look, aren't we?
Yes.
Thank goodness that trend is now here. Tell us some of the most commonly held beliefs or things you hear the most often about threads that you actually disagree with.
Yeah. I do have clients that think, some of them think that they have to be put under. Some of them, I don't know, there is a video or a picture going around right now where they are outside. I guess there's so many things and misconceptions online. So people see these videos, and some of them are from overseas. I don't know where they get this information, but they come to me and they're like, "Oh, are they gonna, be poking out? Are they going to?" I think I hear that the most. And then some of them think that they don't dissolve. Some of them are like, "Is it going to stay under there forever?" I've heard that, and I'm like, "No, they dissolve eventually." And so those are some of the misconceptions that I've heard. And then some people think that they actually will add a ton of volume like filler does. And
Mhm.
I definitely, make sure that the clients know it's way more natural. It's not going to be like a syringe of lip filler in the lips. If let's say we did lip threads, it's just going to be more natural. So some of them do have that misconception that it's going to add a ton of volume.
Yeah. Excellent. What's one thing about your journey with threads that's happened or that you've learned that you didn't quite expect when you first started out?
Um, I I would say just the
Questions.
dealing with the complication when they do. I have had a couple patients. It's not a lot when they do come out, and how to deal with that. Having the client come back in, and it is a pretty quick and easy. I've never had unsuccessful fix for when they do come out. So I would say that that is the challenge that I faced, and I've come to deal with that with no problems at all.
Mhm. Excellent. And most of the time when they do come out, or if they do come out, do you find that it's someone not following post-care instructions or placement? I mean, what?
Yes. Yeah, no, I definitely think it was the ones that maybe massage or rub on the area. So I'm better to instruct clients to just let it be, whereas with Sculptra, they massage after. With ours, it's like, don't touch it after. um, let's not massage or touch the area. So
Mhm. Yep. That kind of answers my next question, I guess. But when you look at your career as an injector for the last 5 years or so, what's something that you've learned that would be really important for a new injector to maybe know?
yeah, I definitely think that we don't teach collagen stimulation. We don't, most of the injectors I do train, they come to me for private trainings. They just right away ask about filler and Botox, but no one's asking about collagen. And I definitely add that to all of my beginner courses and my one-on-one trainings with new injectors is, hey, let's, instead of adding, 4 syringes to the cheeks, maybe let's do 2 syringes and put in some lifting threads to just give that overall glow and natural appearance.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Very smart. And do you perceive is the biggest challenge facing the aesthetic industry today? And I know that's a big question, but what are some of the trends or some of the things you're seeing as an injector that you kind of get a little raised eyebrow on?
Overfilling lips. I definitely think that, and then not knowing how to deal with it, not being confident on the amount of Hylenex to use. I see that a lot of newer injectors and even experienced injectors have never used Hylenex. I've actually had a patient who had a vascular occlusion after lip filler injection, so the lip was wide. I did help reverse that, and she had come from another clinic. And then I also myself have experienced a vascular occlusion of the lip. And then I do elective reversals as well. So those patients that have too much lip filler above the lip, I'm very confident in my dosing on the Hylenex and how to get rid of it, but keep a little bit in the lips. So I think that is the challenge that, and I'm hoping we quit, overfilling faces, and we just, like you said, do that combination therapy, do some filler and then do some threads or do some collagen stimulation as well. Because I think that those patients, I've had some of them now 5 years that I followed up with, and they still appear very natural. And they've had, 4 syringes of filler, but over time, but they've also had threads in combination with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think just in attending the multitude of shows, even globally from a thread perspective, that word natural is really starting to create a theme in the aesthetic industry of people searching for that natural look now. So again, amen that that trend is hopefully
I'm
here to
here for
stay.
it. I love it.
Me too. So we mentioned in the very beginning that you are just opening your own clinic. And this question is going to be a little all over the place then, but I think it's going to be very interesting to hear your response for people that might be in your similar position or wanting to transition. What are some of the biggest challenges you're facing in your business right now? Or what are some of the big fears that you have coming up with your new clinic?
Yeah, I would say one thing is in Florida. I feel like there's going to be a lot of sun worshiping, right? So we have, I know people are getting better at wearing sunscreen and wearing hats, but some of the challenges I see is not right away offering everything. I'm not going to bring the lasers in right away. And I am going to keep my staples of Botox, filler, threads. Um, and then just growing it slowly. I guess my biggest fear would be I immediately have like 10 to 12 clients every day and I'm needing to hire people, but I'm too busy. I'm
Mhm.
finding myself, oh my gosh, how am I going to hire this help when I'm the one that's the owner and the main injector in the beginning? So I might find that I need to get another injector quicker. That's my biggest fear. But that would be a good problem to have, right?
Would be. It would be. Absolutely. I love, love, love asking people this question because it's always fun to hear the responses. Other than filler or overfilling, what is something that everyone in our industry should start doing and stop doing?
All right. So start doing, I think everyone should start, skincare. I would say still 80% of my clients, when they come to me, the new clientele, they aren't using a skincare regimen. They aren't using sunscreen. They aren't using a retinol or a retin-A of some sort. And then as far as stopping, everyone should just, I'm going to go with it again. Stop overfilling their lips. That's,
Mhm.
that's my, um, hope is that we start to use, and we can with those the lay and cray threads, put them in the borders of the vermilion border, and I have seen great results with that and making it look different. So there's some change, it's looking more youthful, but then it's looking more natural.
Right, right. Absolutely. I agree. I agree. It sounds as if you have really gained a high level of confidence in your skill set, which is incredibly impressive. What are some of the ways in your busy schedule that you find to self-educate and really continue learning and growing as an injector?
Yeah, I love to go to those courses through, I use a lot through AmSpa, those one-on-ones, even reaching out to experienced injectors. Those are my favorite. Being able to do advanced tear trough training with like Shelby Miller. She is one of my favorite injectors. And so doing those trainings, I virtually is actually the way. I'm so glad, honestly, with COVID, that we're able to open up this virtual world, because that makes it easier for a business owner to be able to attend the trainings, and also run the business.
Absolutely. And just as a side note, we have jumped on the bandwagon of virtual training as well. And we have sessions available for injectors and business owners just like you who can schedule a time with one of our clinical specialists and really get that specific one-on-one education piece that they might be missing. So I agree with you completely. I agree. Other than threads, what are some of the most underrated tools that are indispensable to you in your practice? And it can be anything.
Yeah, I would say I do love radio frequency, which is so funny. As far as devices, I think I would love to have that be my first device, but then there's that education with the threads, hold off for a little bit. But I think it's underutilized. I do see really good results as far as for cellulite. There was, I'm not going to mention names, but there was an injectable that was on the market. I think that it may have come off of the market, so doing those less invasive treatments, um, like I really do like the radio frequency, and then I don't know. I guess just back to Botox and filler.
Yeah.
Um, those are my main staples, and then using them in ways that where, like with the brow lift, do some threads above the brows, but as well, adding that Botox too to help relax that muscle.
Mhm.
So just the
Absolutely.
combination treatments are underrated. I feel like a lot of people are scared to do two things at once when they're first starting injectables. And it's okay to, as long as you trust your injector, I and see lots of those before and afters and those results of what she's, educating you, he or she, the injector is talking about doing. Um, I would definitely try those combination therapies though. People are scared though. They're like, I just want to try one thing my first time.
Yeah. We love combination therapies. Absolutely. And speaking of combination therapies, this is the question of the hour. Your preference, PDO, PCL, or PLLA threads. Do you have a preference?
I go back and forth between the PDO and the PLLA.
Mhm.
I did do some tech neck lines with the PLLA threads, and I absolutely loved the results. So I
Mhm.
guess it's just certain areas like nasolabial folds. I really love that multi-thread, so the PDO threads. But then there's certain tougher, like smoker lines. The tech neck lines, if they're deeper, they've been there longer, I'll pull out those PLLA threads.
Absolutely. I'm going to switch gears here a little bit, but can you think of or can you share with us a patient that recently touched your heart and why? I always like this question.
Yes. Um, I have a lot of patients I see, and there is one who um, is a nurse practitioner like me, and she had recently went through a divorce. She had lost 100 pounds, and she came to me to help with that skin laxity. So we did multiple treatments as far as body type for the body, but then threads on the face, and her results, they're actually on my Instagram page. She's one of my favorite. She's cried and said, "You girls have changed my life," because she needed that confidence after going through a divorce. She had been married for 30 years. And so it was something she didn't even see that was coming. And so it was unexpected. And she was just thrown off, and she needed some help. And sometimes having that outwardly confidence really boosts the self confidence inside as well. And so she is just shining now. She's getting jobs. She's becoming, a nurse practitioner. She graduated school. She's continuing to lose weight and continuing to see us too. She's been a regular client to help with the lack of collagen. She's, in her young 50s. So, she's definitely lost some collagen over time, but she's more like family now. Everyone at the clinic, we just love her.
I love that story. That's awesome. Awesome. And I'm going to ask you this again at the end, but can you shout out your Instagram handle?
Yes, it's NP Keeley for nurse practitioner. So NP Keeley, Keeley.
Okay. Excellent. Good, good, good. Because I know everybody went to pick up their phone to look.
Yes.
So we'll get that shout out again. Um, so for those of you who are listening and not watching on video, Keely is sitting in her car outside of a busy parking lot because she is a busy woman. And I'm curious for maybe new injectors or just other injectors who are just as busy as you, what are some of the life hacks for productivity that you've uncovered in the last couple of years that have helped?
Meal prepping for sure, and paying for meal prepping. There's always someone I feel like at a local gym that is willing to meal prep for you. So I think that is like having food. I'm gonna be in a better mood. I'm gonna be more productive, and that right there is my number one.
Yep. I like that you said in pain to have someone prep it. It's not just you doing it, but having someone else do it is definitely a huge time saver. Um,
Yes.
Anything that would be more specific, and I didn't ask this question, but I am now, more specific to the clinic as a life hack or something where you kind of the light bulb went off and it's changed your practice or your daily habits.
I like to order, like have more product on the shelf. I know some people are fearful of that, having maybe less skincare product on the shelf, because I know that's a lot of people will think that that's a waste of money, but they can order online now, and a lot of those companies for medical grade skincare will still reimburse you the same for the online sales too. So having less of that and then more just supplies, I think that really helps, because if it's not there, you may have lost that client. And so just, yeah, keeping more product on the shelves for sure. I'm going to
I
have like 3 bags, maybe 5 bags of every different kind of thread. I'm going to be ready.
And I love that. And to be fair, folks, Keeley and I did not practice that answer.
No, we
So
didn't.
knows me personally, they're probably chuckling because I often scratch my head and see some of the orders that come through, and people are at times paying $125 to rush overnight one bag of threads, which I just desperately want to pick up the phone and say, let me help break this down for you. That's
Yes.
$25 it's eating into your profit. And while they are very profitable and high on return, you multiply that and you do that 5 or 6 times a year, that adds up very quickly. So I amen, Keeley. Amen. Keeping
Yep.
product on the shelf.
It really does help. It does for sure.
Yep, I love it. And is there anything else you'd like listeners to know about threads or just about in general? Because again, I look at you with such admiration and just how bold of a woman to be opening your own med spa. It's really, really impressive. Any final words of wisdom to injectors out there like yourself?
Yeah, if you haven't started offering threads, I would definitely look at Lay and Cray. You guys have been a great company. I have used other thread companies, and because, like I said, the practice wanted to go with the different brand, and I just love the options. You guys have more options of the different threads than any other company I've seen, and I really would utilize threads if you haven't started. Some people are scared too; they think it's a more advanced thing, but I actually think it's more of a beginner thing in that. There's less complications with threads as well. So,
Mhm. Yep, I agree. I agree. And again, tell listeners where they can find you online.
yes, you can find me. Instagram right now would be the best. NP Keeley on Instagram. And then there's also NP Keeley on Facebook. I am actually just starting. I was looking at domains for the website for the clinic I'm opening, and I think it's going to be the luxeclinicflorida.com, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm looking at that right now.
Love it. How exciting. How exciting. Well, I know I will continue to track your progress and I look forward to seeing your website up and operational. But in the meantime, I will track you on Instagram. So
For
thank you. Thank
sure.
you. Have a great day.
Thank you.